Make sure
We're good. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Proclamation, recognition, and appointments. We have the recognition of Tuesday, December 3rd, which is today, of a nonprofit day, aka One Birth Gift Day. We read the proclamation last month, correct?
Yeah, so we made the proclamation last month, but I just wanted to remind you that today's that day, and that various nonprofit organizations, including the United Way and Grow with Drexel, are openly fundraising throughout the day. And if you haven't given already, we of course encourage that. Give as you are able to those organizations.
Do we have any public comment tonight? No public comment. Okay. Unfinished business. Drexel Heritage Property Update.
Yeah, so this will be a real quick one. I included in your packet again this month. We've looked at it a couple times, but the advertisement for bids that we released early last month after we met. And that bid opening is scheduled to happen this Thursday at 2 p.m. It's, of course, a public bid opening for the 100+ acres the Drexel industrial site over here just next to Main Street. So, of course, the board is encouraged to attend, or the public is encouraged to attend and see the results of that. Of course, we'll be further discussing those results throughout the remainder of the year, because it'll take some time for both our consultants and our town staff to review the bids that we get and see where we fall. But this will be a good opportunity for us to see where the market's at for the work and the grading and the demolition of that site. And that is all I have for that.
Okay. And David Harmon, architectural proposal.
Yes, so if you recall last month, you had hired Mr. David Harmon to be the architect of the banquet hall renovations. Well, I included his proposal of the amended proposal that we accepted already for the bathroom services, and he pulled those services together since we'll be paying for both of those. And that updated proposal is included. Now, you've already delegated authority for me to execute that on your behalf, but I at least want to present you with the information. So the total fee came out to a not to exceed cost of $22,500. Obviously, that'll be determined on, what kind of hours he puts in, and he's got his hourly rates listed there as well. Just wanted to provide that for information only.
Okay, good deal. New business. Consider adopting 2020. Well, we can't do that.
Well, we'll just
calendar.
Yeah, if you want to just, we don't have to move it, do we, Kristen? We can just skip over that for now. That
you can, you can review it or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, we can go ahead and review while you are here, but it was included in your packet as well. I believe somewhere in here.
It is.
Yeah, it's somewhere. I just got to find it buried within. Yeah, there it is. So the noteworthy things to talk about are that our first meeting of the year would be January 7th at 6 p.m. I have scheduled a staff and board retreat that would be on Saturday, January 25th from 10 to 2 p.m. That would be an opportunity for staff, department heads, and the board and other important staff to get there and discuss various things regarding the budget for the upcoming year, as well as looking into the future and doing some broad and large-scale planning, so we can start talking about some of those things.
Found a venue?
No, we haven't found a venue yet, but we'll be working on that in short order and finding a place that will be an opportunity to kind of get outside the town and start discussing some of these long-term goals and objectives. We have 2 budget workshops currently scheduled. Obviously, we can have more if need be, but those would be on February 25th at 4. That would be here, and March 25th at 4. And that would also be here. Then the rest of it is pretty much the regular schedule. I will make note that in years past, the town has opted to adopt the budget like at the end of June. Like in the 20s of June. I guess to be a little closer to the end of the budget year. My proposal here is that we just have a regular June meeting and we go ahead and have the budget public hearing at that meeting and adopt the budget at that meeting for the next fiscal year. And that we have instead a regular July meeting instead of skipping a July meeting, because we have that late June meeting. I think that just, for a couple reasons, I propose that. A, it allows us to hear the budget well in advance of the budget becoming active, in case we run into an issue where we have, like today, we have 2 board members who are sick, and for some reason we can't vote on the budget. That's primarily the reason I did it, but also it gives you plenty of time to dissect it and vote on it, and then as changes come up, then we can adopt those amendments earlier in the year. But other than that, everything else on this is the same schedule, the first Tuesday of the month. I think we did move the July meeting to the 8th, just so it's out of the 4th of July window. Does anybody have any questions on that? Is all that agreeable? Okay.
4 o'clock gonna be in the.
No, 4 o'clock works for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Of course, at any point, we could also call the mayor, or 2 board members can call a special meeting too, if that's necessary. We won't be able to vote on this tonight, so we'll just move on from there.
Okay. Moving on, approval of contract of FEMA Financial Association with Tidal Basin with the COG partnership firm.
Yeah, so this is good. I put approval of, but that was before Kristen and I had reviewed that. Actually, back in the October meeting, the board had already voted to delegate me the authority to execute that. If you remember, Kurt from the COG came up and he said, yes, we want to go with their preferred contractor. So I always want to bring it to your attention. I'll be signing and executing that to assist with some FEMA reporting. It is an upfront cost to the town. It's 5% of whatever we use them for, we claim, but it is reimbursable from FEMA. So we do have an upfront burden that we have to bear, but on the back end, we get that back. And of course, given that these people work through this a lot, Tidal Basin is a company that works through disasters on a year-round basis. They know how to submit the paperwork, they know how to file it, whereas I may not, and I would have to learn. So it's definitely worth the cost of admission. And the COG went through an RFP process and procured this, per state regulations. And the firm that came out on top was Tidal Basin. And they did give, I think, the mayor and myself an opportunity to offer feedback on the various candidates. And I think they had like 14 or 15 people interested in performing the service, and they went with Tidal Basin ultimately. So I'll be executing that, barring any concerns from the board. And just want to keep you updated.
That frees up you and the girls for other stuff, rather than having to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, we're already working on our last audit as well. So, not having paperwork would be a lot for us right now. And we're finally getting back some of the mutual aid costs, and they are substantial. So we're, navigating that's going to be a challenge. And they've also, just so the board's aware, I was notified last week that FEMA has changed representatives again. So this is the 4th representative we've had from FEMA. The last one, she had even come here and visited us in person, but she had to go home for some unknown reason. And so now we have a new one that was appointed today. So hopefully this one's here to stay. But it's been a little frustrating, to say the least.
Okay. Okay. And the audit's going fairly well.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, department report, financial report.
Yeah, at this point, before I get into my items, I'm going to turn it over to Chelsea Carswell, our tax collector. She needs to present some tax reports for the year.
Okay. Chelsea, come on up to the podium, please, ma'am.
Okay, so you have included the report for the 2023 annual tax settlement. And the first page is the June tax report, and the amount at the end of June uncollected was $9,363.30. And then over the next few pages, you can turn and see that the unpaid taxes as of June 30th. One of the properties is in bankruptcy, so I'm not allowed to do anything with it. And the others are on payment plans, or I have turned them into debt set off, which will attach their income tax refunds. On page 6, you can see the 2023 gross levy with a 98.2% collected. And so that means with the revaluation, we collected $142,677.33 more than we did in 2022. And then if you'll flip through pages 7 through 11, it'll give you the 2023 tax levy makeup and uncollected real and personal taxes for the last 10 years. And then the very last pages show that Burke County's net collections for motor vehicle taxes totaled $58,425.89. And that's it.
Any questions or anything, guys?
No, I'm good.
Thank
you.
Good, thank you.
Good job.
Chelsea. All right, Mr. Carroll.
Yep, so we'll move on now to the budget variance report. We'll start with our general fund and discuss it first. And this is as of the end of November, if you can believe it. So almost halfway through the year, just one more month. And she already went over the tax collection status. Revenues are on track. We're $38,000 in the positive for the year to date. Going down to the expense summary of the general fund, at our total expenses, we're $171,000 to the red there. That is primarily due because we did make the final payment on the fire truck, which was a $360,000 payment. So that hit the budget hard, obviously. So we're not in any bad shape there. It's just by where that payment fell, it is now encumbered its full budget amount, which will kind of offset for a few months until it corrects. But other than that, most of the departments are on track. Obviously, the fire is in the red, but that's because of that fire truck purchase. We've got some other department, like the municipal building, we have to repair the AC system, which costs some money. So all of them are explainable instances of where we're in the red, but we'll work over the coming few months to make sure that corrects. And we should be fine there.
And the new fire truck is paid for.
It is paid for, and it's here. Going on to the electric fund and our revenue summary, we're $183,000 in the black there. Our charges have been steady. They've been coming in steady, so we really don't have any issues there. As far as expenses go, we're doing really well with expenses in the electric department despite the storm. If you remember, we had budgeted some extra capital money aside in the electric fund because we were anticipating doing some projects. Well, it's a good thing we did that because that helped out with the storm. And setting that money aside is come in handy. Now, I will mention that next month it may look a little different because we did just get an invoice from the city of Wilson for the mutual aid work, and their mutual aid work is going to cost us about $364,000. And that's just that's primarily labor for having their 20 linemen in town. We're still waiting on the Greenville Utilities Commission. We have not got their invoice yet, but theirs may be substantial as well.
That's supposed to be all covered under FEMA, though, correct?
Yes, so we will be submitting all that for reimbursement, but for the time being, we're having to pay that up front. So that's just something to keep in mind. Thankfully, we've been good about saving money for things exactly like this, so it should be fine. Moving on to the water and sewer fund, our revenue summary, we're $349 in the red there, so really right on budget for our revenues. And that doesn't include some of the interest that I have yet to allocate to there, so it actually will be a positive there, which is different if you recall from last year. Last year we were in the red the entire year in the water and sewer fund, so it's looking a lot better this year. As far as the expense summary for the water and sewer fund, we're $13,000 in the black there. Doing well. The water pump station is the only one that's a little off in the maintenance. And the water and sewer maintenance is because we had to replace a pump that was $25,000, and so that was a one-time cost. And the water pump station is because our water charges came in a little higher this summer than what was budgeted, but that should correct as the winter months hit and people use less water. And our rain totals have been a lot better than they have been in the past. Our lift station with rain does terrible. It did bad during the hurricane. Other than that, we haven't had that many large rain events that have caused issues.
So we had many issues with the foothills with the water
main breaks.
Water main breaks.
I think we've had a couple. Roger's not here tonight, but a few. We have had some water main breaks going on around town just randomly. We weren't sure if it's related to the storm and when the pumps were off for such a long time and they kicked on. We had some water hammers maybe in the system that caused those leaks. Mm-hmm. Also potentially could have been foothills doing other boring. That does shake the earth. As well as the state. The state just paved Oakland, which is fine that they paved it, but that could you may expect some water main breaks because when they shake the earth like that in the middle of the road, it does cause breaks.
Okay.
But nothing, as far as I know, they haven't done anything big that's been a major repair. So we'll move on to the budget, or the bank statements now. So this is as of the end of the last month. General checking set at 381,000. Our money market account set at 219,000. Our money rate savings set at 8.8 million, and our money rate savings in the recreation set at 13,600. And the various fund distributions are listed on the right there for you if you'd like to dissect. And of course, I'll entertain any questions regarding our finances.
How much of our grant money for the Drexel site do we have left? You know?
How much do we have left? If you add all those up, that would include, CBDG, Golden Leaf, I think it's like 3-point-something million,
Okay.
roughly.
All right. Sounds good.
That's all I have. That's all I have.
That's all you got? Okay. Chief Ritchie.
Let's see, when I put this report together, we had 209 calls for service or events, 4 reportable incidents, 5 clear cases. Said 0 arrests, but our communications center indicated we had 2 warrant services. I think that's a typo there. We had 6 citations, with 1 of those being a warning, 5 motor vehicle accidents, 2 other papers served. And we had 2 frauds and a traffic violation complaint. Fraud investigations and a traffic complaint come in, which will bring that to 212 calls for service. I think this month was a month for wrecks and domestic disturbance or violence investigations. They kind of spot people are home for the holidays and whatnot. But we had 7 Kenwood radios come in. Had to get those programmed, but they're now up and running on the state Viper system, so they're ready to be charged and deployed. We had one of our patrol vehicles in an accident. We took it to Barry's Body Works, and it's now completely fixed and back in service. So, but that's it.
All right, good deal. Thank you, sir. Chief Wilkie.
Good evening. For the month of November, we had a total of 26, which is about the normal for each month. Our dispatch to arrival was up to 7 minutes and 9 seconds, which is a little more than I'd like it to be. I'd like to be a little bit quicker, but time of day, just what people are doing and stuff is affecting that too, but it's not too bad. But everything's going good. 26 total, like I said, 26 total calls. We have 22 members on the roster, but everything's going good. No major issues, no major complaints. Fire truck's doing good. It's at a minimal response right now, but we're getting some equipment in so it can be full service. It should be.
So you're still waiting on some stuff on it?
Yeah, it should be within the next week or 2. All that should be in, yeah.
So you can't use it right now? Or?
No, we can use it, but we just can't use it to its full capacity right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we can use it for like medical calls, wrecks, brush fires, stuff like that.
All right. We'll be ready for Christmas parade, right?
Oh, it's ready. Yeah, oh, it's ready for that. Yeah, it's ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Lacey?
We finished up football and soccer games. We finally wrapped it up. We have moved everything up indoors. Our gym floor is now complete. All but the decals. We're waiting on our heat to be fixed now before we can put those down. It has to be at a certain temperature. So hopefully it'll be fixed tomorrow. I think is what they were thinking. But the football field's ready to be closed up, water turned off down there. We don't have anything else down there until spring. I think it's going to be seeded. That's the only thing left, but as far as electrical and water and all that, it can be cut
Outside
off.
soccer's done. Soccer's done out.
Yeah, everything's wrapped up now. We've got the indoor soccer. It's on Sundays now. Now that the gym's done, it's moved up. We've got basketball starting up on this Saturday. We've ended up with 15 teams. We're 95% on uniform turn-in on football and 75% turn-in on soccer. So we gotta finish up getting soccer uniforms in. And we're 85% on basketball registration, and I'll have all that turned in. The arcade games all are going great. That's been a huge addition in there. I think for even being shut down when we had the storm, because we had just gotten them in around then with everything. We're at like $550 pulled in from them, and that's splitting it with the rental with the guys that come and fix it and everything. So
Yeah,
that's been a huge addition to
I
it.
stepped in there the other day when Bill and I was down there and come to look in there, and I thought, this brings me back to my childhood, the game day. Only difference is the snack bar wasn't boarded up. So I spent many an hour behind that snack bar too.
They still have 2 more they're gonna bring out. We were just kind of trying to make sure the electrical was gonna work and room wise, but other than that, we just getting ready. The next big thing will be of course the Christmas parade we'll be ready for, so.
All right, what's the deal? Are we still waiting on something on the playground?
Just haven't had time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, our public works team hasn't had time to do that.
Okay. All right, Miss Teresa.
If you got my report yesterday. I always have a lot of little minor subdivisions coming through. I just finished reviewing one where they're cleaning up a property line for Walker Lane, you know, that development there. And they surveyed it years ago and they did it incorrectly. And it led to one of the properties to have a mobile home that extended into the adjoining property. And so I've been working on that with the surveyor, trying to clean that property line up. So I should be getting that in probably by next week. And then, of course, we have one violation with the storage containers on Mountain View and Main Street. And he's removed those to another property. He ran a business, and evidently that business is up for sale, so they put all their materials in storage containers. So that's the reason why they just kind of popped up overnight. And so they removed those, and during the investigation I found that they have a few other property, buildings that are crossing property lines and things like that they need to fix, and he's going to work with me on that. So he's been really good about it. He does have that container that's still there. It's been there for long time that I can remember. He works for Duke Power, and that was given to him by Duke Power to store the ATV that he has to use in his job with Duke. So he's going to work with putting some type of shelter or storage over the top of it to kind of make it blend in a little bit more. But just want to let you know that's been fixed or getting fixed. Been
a big improvement over there, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, when I got to researching, I found he had quite a number of buildings that were encroaching, and I don't think he realized it either,
right, right.
And so he just thought if he asked his neighbor, was it okay, that it was good to do that.
You didn't think about asking him.
No, had I think around 47 permits this year so far. I'm working on putting the ordinance together with the text amendments that you guys did last month, and thank you for that. I have been in contact with the developers of Bird Street, and so I should be getting some plans pretty soon that Roger and the town manager and I can review and look over. So, and if you want to kind of get a feel of what they're going to be doing, you can always go to Morganton, and their properties are up for sale now.
Yeah.
On those, they're
Fletcher Street. Isn't it?
Yeah, Fletcher Street. Yeah.
Are they allowing tours of the insides?
I would imagine so. They're on Zillow, and so they're
not all
$339 to $359.
They're not all filled yet, though.
They're not all filled. No, they're still. They just really put them on the market last month, I think.
Okay.
So, and I think they've already done a price check, so it must be a Christmas Black Friday thing. So,
All right.
but they will go. I mean, they're going to go at some point because of the simple fact we need the housing. In this area, but they're kind of eager. They've been emailing me. They're saying they're a little eager to get moving. So
Yeah, we can use them 12 townhouses.
and we certainly could. And outside of that, working on some dates. I should know by Friday, when I can set up some training with the Board of Adjustment and the Planning Board. And the Planning Board is the Board of Adjustment. And so I should have some dates by that day, and when I get some other stuff worked out. And then we'll set a time for the Board of Adjustment hearing. So,
Okay.
and that's it. That's all I got.
Got anything?
No, thank you.
Good. Okay. All right, Mr. Kevin.
Afternoon, council. Hope your Thanksgiving was good. Got just a few things here on this report this month. The Drexel North Pier, where 2 trailers. They've been in compliance before, now they're out of compliance. From my understanding, the gentleman's a renter and he does some kind of mass building, so there's lots of pallets and they're just kind of busted up and scattered. But I drove by the other morning and he's actually knocked a chunk of that out pretty significantly. The other one that's there, it is a non-residential issue. It's an old shed for a carport that's kind of fallen in, and I tried to give the guy benefit of the doubt. We're having a meeting coming up to discuss that if he shows up, but I thought, did he really angle it to drain water off? Because it kind of looks like it, but we'll find out if he shows up to the hearing or not for that. The third thing, which is not on your report, Mr. Carroll and I had talked about this rock pile that's at the railroad crossing. I have emailed the Northern Southern about that, haven't got a response yet. I was going to attach some photos to it and they didn't have a link, so I'm waiting for a response from them to see exactly what's going on. But I had mentioned that there's no fencing around it, there's no protective barrier, so don't know their plans at this point. Not sure if anyone has heard from the
Yeah, my only thought, they put those down right after the storm. So my thought was maybe they were disposing, and it was the only place they could put some rocks, some raw material down to transport up to fix a bridge or something, but it's been sitting there now for a month and a half, so I don't think so. I mean, I saw them unloading it, but I haven't seen them touch it since.
So hopefully if they don't move it and they have a plan, they can do some kind of protective barrier at least to keep
We'd
folks
like
off.
to know what's going,
They're
what's
massive,
there.
so they're pretty good size.
I mean, it's on their property,
So they're
Yes.
right
right
away. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they can be there, but we'd like to know why it's there.
So as soon as I get it, I'll pass it on to Mr. Carroll and we'll go from there.
All right.
All right?
All right,
Thank
thank you, sir. Mr. Wilcox, you have anything for us tonight?
You asked me to look into the contract with Republic Service, GDS. And the research I found is it just needs to be a reasonable amount of time to cancel the contract. I couldn't find anything that said 6 months was not reasonable for a 5-year renewal contract.
So even if we're under contract for an additional 3 years, if we have a reasonable notice that we're gonna cancel the contract, that would be allowed?
Correct. If a court would determine it's a reasonable period of time, then, 6 months for 5 years doesn't seem unreasonable. But we can certainly contact them and try to negotiate a buyout. I don't think you just would want to send a letter saying we're canceling, and then you're inviting litigation. It's probably gonna cost more than the balance of the contract.
Yeah, I think
But we could,
we can bear with them for right now.
Yeah, and Mayor, they did, I think they did come and hopefully, I try to rectify. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
They've been very gentle.
I will say, I talked to, our municipal rep with them, and I think it'd be wise just for you all to see her and have her, so I was gonna invite her to the January meeting to provide an, update on the relationship and some history and background, and answer any questions, if that's okay with the board.
yeah, I think that'd be good, and then we could feel out if they wanna talk about.
Okay.
Maybe they want out, I don't know.
I
I doubt it, but that's how they make money.
Or maybe we can just come to an agreement, like, hey, let's not have drivers, busting up trash.
Busting trash cans. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Russ.
All right, thank you, Rob.
Definite answer.
All right, you got your.
Yes, so I'll go through this real quick. So a few dates to remember. Tonight, in about 40 minutes, we'll be having our Christmas tree lighting down here in downtown. That's an exciting time, I think, for everyone. I think everybody's been impressed with the size of the tree. 20 foot tall. It's actually taller than the White House tree. So you don't need to go to the White House to see a beautiful Christmas tree. You can come to downtown Drexel. So please attend that. There will be some light refreshments and treats during the event, but bundle up if it's cold outside.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of Christmas, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, December 14th, of course, our Christmas parade will start at 10 a.m. And then following that, we're going to be having a downtown festivities called Christmas on Main. We'll have Touch a Truck for the kids. We'll have bounce houses for the kids. We'll have a hay ride through downtown. It's going to be a good time. So please come out to that and attend that. We'll be, of course, marketing that over the next couple of weeks. We're also going to have vendors selling various wares, from ornaments, if you need some last minute ornaments and gifts, homemade items. We'll have some food trucks. We'll have baked goods. We'll have a hot chocolate truck. So please come out to that. It's going to be a good time.
And I seen a thing where Nina's will be open at 5 o'clock on that day.
Yeah, I think so. And they're going to be open tonight too, I believe. Nice, it's going to be open tonight too, if anybody's looking for some dinner. So yeah, that's going to be a good event. So we encourage everyone in the audience and the board to attend. Then also I want to mention that we talked about earlier, it's not on my list here, but the luncheon for the town staff, the board is invited to that. And of course, our town attorney will be held at 100 Main in Valdez on December 19th at noon, but we'll have a special meeting hopefully before that we'll meet up here and then head that way. So that'll be for town staff and the town board and other town associated folks. Then our town offices will be closed the December 24th, 25th, and 26th. That's for the Christmas holidays. We take 3 days off. So we'll have a weird week. We'll be here Monday, 3 days off, and then we'll come in on Friday. Then we'll have our regular meeting January 7th at 6 p.m. And then we'll again be closed before that on January 1st, celebrating the New Year's Eve holiday. And that is all I have. Yep, we can get adjourned, and before we adjourn, those of you who will be attending, 7:15 is kind of our start time for that event, so if you want to hang out here until you walk into the cold, that's perfectly fine, down in either our gathering hall or in our lobby downstairs.
I have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
All in favor?
All right, thank you.